College sports are insane, as we all know, but there's been a major uptick in college sports gambling, not only by fans, but by the student athletes. So if you're ready to talk about one of the biggest college football sports gambling scandals that happened this offseason, make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's your thumb, and let's go ahead and get into it. So if you're not a crazy person like me, you probably haven't been following this, but Iowa and Iowa State had a massive scandal regarding sports betting within their intercollegiate athletic departments this offseason, specifically that it all came to light in May of 2023. And Iowa laid out a very detailed timeline on their website so fans, students, and everyone else involved can see how they receive this information. So on May 2nd, 2023, the school was notified about the gambling investigation that's going on that included some people from their school. On the 3rd, the police were called and the police told them about the investigation. And then on May 4th, the list of people that were involved was released. On May 5th, the university notified the student athletes that were being investigated that they will no longer be able to participate in NCAA competitions due to the fact they're being investigated. So there were 111 people involved in Iowa's part of this investigation. Now, 26 of those people involved were current athletes made up of the baseball team, the football team, men's basketball, men's track and field, and men's wrestling, as well as one full-time employee and a student worker. But the rest of the people involved no longer work for the university or are former athletes. Now, Iowa State had the same amount of problems during this case, but they chose to handle this way opposite differently, as they didn't give a detailed timeline of how they went about this. All they did was just release a statement that it was approximately 15 student athletes that were involved, and these student athletes participated in football, wrestling, and track and field. They gave literally no information who was involved, what happened by any means. The thing that caused Iowa to open this investigation was due to the fact that Iowa has sports betting laws and betting laws in general, as most states in the United States does. But sports betting went live in the state of Iowa on January 1st, 2021. It is illegal gambling if you participate under the age of 21, and it is illegal to knowingly acknowledge and help someone gamble that is under the age of 21. The Iowa football coach acknowledged that he has learned about gambling laws and gambling policy within the state of Iowa and just in general due to this massive investigation that they have going on. The NCAA laws concerning gambling are pretty strict, as you cannot gamble on any NCAA sponsored event at any level if you are a player or an employee at an intercollegiate NCAA sponsored school. But due to this massive investigation that came out in May, the NCAA has amended a few of their rules to combat this situation. And these new amendments apply to people that were caught on or after May 2nd, i.e. the day this whole situation went down. The hardest and long straw rule is that you can receive a lifetime ban from the NCAA if you are gambling for your team that you play on at your school. You can receive a half-season ban if you are gambling on your sport at another school, and any other betting will depend on how much money you wagered and how long you were doing it. Tracking athletes on the ways that they do this sports betting is obviously so much easier now with the fact that most betting is done online. And even though some of the people in this case in Iowa and Iowa State had fake usernames and emails and things, but it was so easy for the government to track it back to them, that's what made this such a massive scandal. So you might be wondering what happened now. Well, 3 of those players involved in this scandal reached a plea deal against their federal crimes, and they had to pay a fine of $645 each, and all the other charges were dropped. And this was major because they were facing some serious time in jail, as those other charges included tampering with records and aggravated misdemeanors that could lead to up to 2 years in jail. But now that these current players are out of their federal part of the investigation, they still were waiting for the NCAA to come down with the hammer for their collegiate eligibility. Now, Jake Rinsberg received a 6-game suspension. that he'll be serving the first 6 games of this college football season. But one person that's involved in this investigation has already received their punishment, which is 1 year, and that player is Noah Shannon from Iowa. Now, Noah Shannon didn't reach a plea deal, or he didn't reach it publicly, but he has already received his 1-year ban from college football this season. But his school is choosing to appeal this decision and work to get him on the field. But the crazy part about this situation is that Hunter Deckers, one of the people who had to make a plea deal, he hasn't received any suspension yet. He's just not playing for the team right now, which his stuff is even crazier, as he has placed 366 wagers. He had bet almost $2,800, with 26 of those bets being placed on Iowa State sporting events. And he was colluding with his parents to do all of this. Like, this sounds like a documentary, literally. But now that you know so much about college sports gambling, you can check out this video right here, which is talking all about the NFL gambling and how they're dealing with their issues right now as well. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. And leave me a comment down below telling me, what do you feel about college betting? And should they be able to bet? Should they not be able to bet? As well as give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because it's still your thumb. And remember, don't be afraid to join the convo.